Okay, Gary, I'm going to look at your putting stroke. Got you at the setup position. Your setup looks fine. I like the width of stance. I like the fact that your elbows are in close to your body. You've got a nice wide position with your arms and shaft. That looks very good. As you take it back, you're keeping your body still and your head still. You've kept your Y in position going back. That looks very good. As you go forward, you have a little tendency to be a little bit wristy right there in the back of that left hand, kind of starts to cup. And you don't keep the left hand moving forward. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. I like the fact that you keep your head down. You're still looking down you're still looking down here after the ball has left the putter. You haven't turned your head too quickly. Your head is still down. It's still down even after it gets off the camera screen, so that's looking good. One of the things I want to focus on is the putter itself, the putter head. You have what we call a recoil, a fairly quick recoil. As soon as your club gets to the end of the stroke, it starts recoiling back. I'm going to compare your stroke to Tiger Woods, who's considered one of the best putters in golf. I've stopped the frame at the end of the backswing, and I'm going to take Tiger's stroke through the ball and through the final position. As he comes through the ball, his head is down, head is down, head is down, putter keeps going, ball is out of the screen, out of the picture. When Tiger's putter comes to a complete stop, his putter is right here, his head is still down, his head is starting to turn, starting to look, he's now looking here, starting to turn to look. But his putters and hands are basically right where the putter had stopped at the end of his follow through. That is an important fundamental in a putting stroke. It's not talked about much, but it is one I like my students to try to work on and adopt. Not only does Tiger do this, but the majority of the best putters on tour will do this. As you come forward in your stroke, I like the fact that you keep your head down right here. Putter's still going forward. Your head is still down. That's excellent. Ball's out of the screen. Your head is still down. You're not looking early. Putter's come to a complete stop now. So your putter is right here. But even before you look or start to turn to look, that putter starts pulling back quite a bit. And now you're turning. And so your hands and your putter pull back in that recoil. So I would like to work on what I call the putt, hold, look. That you're going to putt the ball, hold your posture and your follow through, and then turn and look. Putt, hold, look. I now want to talk a little bit about the mechanics of your putting stroke and whether or not you have a wristy stroke or kind of a forearm shoulder stroke. On the left is one of your practice strokes, and on the right is one of your strokes at the golf ball, and they are a little bit different. On the left, when you get to the end of your backswing, you've maintained a really good Y position here. So you've maintained your Y. You haven't broken it down or hinged your wrist in any way. You basically have taken the club back with a nice shoulder stroke. Forearms and wrist are kind of locked in. That's very good. On the follow through, as you come through, right there, this is your practice stroke now. The ball would have been right about there. And I'm going to put a line where the shaft of the putter is. Then as you come through, I'm going to advance it a few frames, and your putter's right there. I'm going to advance it a few frames, and your putter's right there. And that's about the end of your stroke. And your putter's right there. So that's very good. So the key is, or the thing I want to focus on, is notice how the butt end of the shaft moved forward. The back of your left hand kept moving forward. You didn't stop the hands and just flip the club head underneath the hands. You did not let the wrist hinge on you. And when you ended the stroke, you still had a nice Y position here. So that was very good. Your practice stroke is not very wristed. You don't cup the back of that left hand. That's very good. You'll also notice at the end of the stroke, the back of your left hand is almost even with the outside edge of your pants right there. So you move that left hand toward the left side of your body instead of stopping the left hand during the stroke and just flipping the club head through. Now let's take a look at your ball stroke. And you've kept a good Y position in your backswing, so you're not wristy going back. That's very good. But as you come forward and hit the ball, I'm going to put here's the shaft. Advance it a few frames. Here's the shaft. Advance it a few frames. Here's the shaft. The butt end of the handle hasn't moved very much, but only the club head has moved. Okay, the putting stroke is over with, and you can see now here's the outside edge of your pants, and here's the left hand here. So on the right, when you're hitting the ball, you are a lot wristier with your hands. And as soon as your hands get even with the golf ball, as soon as you're making contact with the golf ball, you kind of stop the hands and just flip the club head through the ball. Whereas with the practice stroke, you have a shoulder stroke and a forearm stroke. So your best stroke is actually your practice stroke. But you have difficulty right now using that stroke when there's a ball there. The striking of the ball interferes with the feeling of a shoulder stroke. So next time we meet, we'll spend a few minutes on this. I still want to focus mostly on your full swing, but I do want to spend a little bit of time on improving your putting.